Hey guys, welcome back to Proud Masculine. I'm Joe Sherwood. And today's video, the topic will be, well, it's actually going to be a viewer request. As I put in all of my descriptions, if there's any topics you'd like covered, or points on previous videos, or whatever you'd like to hear about, just leave in the comments and I will personally address them and give my best take and experience. So, before we get started, I'd like y'all to please smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and of course, leave any comments about this video or anything, any other topic you'd like to hear. And hit that notification bell, that way you get the new videos as I release them. So good, with that out the way, let's get started. And today's video comes from a viewer, and his comment is, "Love your content, man. You've got a great way with your words." Thank you, sir. If you could do a video dealing with a vengeful baby mama ex, I would greatly appreciate it. Respect from Ireland. Yeah, well, first off, thank you for the support. Thank you for leaving the comments, and I will address that. And I answered him telling him it would be, how to deal with this situation, how to navigate this, like the generalities of it, because he left me absolutely zero specifics on his particular situation. But this isn't a rare thing. It's, it's pretty common when a relationship splits and you have a child, whether it's a LTR, a fling, one night stand, or marriage. And the bad news is, as a male in Western society, family law is not on your side, and they have women that will use your kids against you as leverage to fuck with you, hurt you, get more money, whatever the case may be. And look, that doesn't mean I'm saying, every guy is a victim. So don't even start that shit in my comments, please. But for the sake of this explanation, we're going to talk about a vengeful baby mama ex. I don't know the reason why or what have you, but there do exist these women out there that will play games with the kids and hold them against their fathers, from their father, simply as a means to make the guy's life hell. So my experience with this, and I've had to go through this, something similar, but I really didn't have the problem with the vengeful baby mama. Like, we didn't have that issue, thank God. And but I've seen it. I was in a divorce as a child. My parents divorced at 10, and it was an ugly, toxic situation. And I saw my mother do it to my dad, so I know what it's like. And I've heard the conversations between her and her friends, like that had been divorced, and it was, her the friend telling my mom that, the power she has as a single mom, and she can go into courts and say he did this, say he did that, get more money, and that if my dad did anything that she didn't like, just tell him he can't see the kids. I heard these conversations with my own 2 ears, as a young kid, and it sucked to hear it. So I know it exists. And the unfortunate thing is, like I said before, as a man in the West, family law is not on your side. That's family law and society at law, just driven by a feminine imperative. Again, I will repeat, that doesn't mean every guy that has been left or doesn't see his kids or divorced or whatever is a stand-up guy. That's not what I'm saying. So please don't start shit. Anyway, but by and large, you just have no power in family courts. And the best thing you can do is just lawyer up. Even if you can afford a really good lawyer that knows family law, can navigate family law, and this is you're gonna have to do some work. You're gonna have to put some legwork in, do some research, find out, talk to other people who have been through divorces and see, the steps they took. Or if it's not a divorce, if it's just a breakup, you're still going to have to go. If she's being uncooperative and wants to take you to court, you're going to be in some kind of family court to gain custody. And then at that point, it's just a matter of having a good enough lawyer that can negotiate your terms, which is a fair amount of child support, or an arrangement to where there's equal custody, to where you don't have to pay her child support and y'all just split the cost of the child and medical and school and whatever other extra expenses may be down the middle. I mean, look, ideally an amicable settlement would be the best bet. You get to split it down the middle, you get equal visitation rights, you provide a healthy, proper dwelling and living space for that child when they're in your care, and she does the same. You have an agreement on how y'all date people and expose the kid to people you're dating. But for the most part, the ball is going to be in her court, and what you have to do is just play the game at this point. And I mean, you have 18 years of this, so you're just going to have to learn to navigate it. And it's just going to be a little bit of trial and error period where you're going to have to slowly walk that minefield and just hope you don't step on hit some booby traps, navigating through that. But then if you do and you make a mistake and there's some repercussions and she freaks out on you, withholds the kid, takes you back to court or something, you learn as you go. And look, like I said, this is generalities. There's going to be so many different extremes of this and so many different dynamics. Like, you're going to have a woman that you're not going to be able to do anything right. I know somebody personally who's a stand-up guy, takes great care of his kids, had evidence of the ex screwing around on him, and he still got screwed. I mean, this dude was in the negative, paying child support and alimony every month. The judge didn't want to hear it, and that's just the way it is. And there's nothing this guy can do. That this woman is cooperative. She withholds the kids, uses it against him. That's going to happen sometimes. Ideally, you'd like to find that middle ground. Sometimes you're going to get a case where things are, really amicable. And you don't have to bring lawyers, and you come up with your own terms and agree on that. And you both stick by that and honor that. As things come up, you work with each other. But anyway, I'm going in circles with that. So the gist of it is you have 18 years and you're just going to have to play ball to an extent. I'm not saying be a doormat, but I mean, in order for you to fight and gain ground, it costs money. You're going to have to do it through court and a lawyer. Damn good lawyers, and damn good lawyers aren't cheap. And like, the shit of it is, the favor, it's already in her favor. So the amount of effort she has to put out is very little. And if she wants to ramp it up to match your intensity, she has to put in less effort, less money, less energy, because she's already got the momentum of being a single mom. So it's just the way it is, Chief. And so if she tries to engage, so what you can do also is, through text message, communicate everything through text. The only way you talk to this person is if it has to do with your kids, child or children, multiples, whatever. Do it through text, communicate through text. You save the texts. Don't engage emotionally. You're going to be lured into some shit sometimes. Don't respond. Don't react. You respond. That's what I meant to say. You don't react. And keep emotion out of it. You think of it as a business transaction with somebody you have no emotional ties with, even though you do. But you got to treat it as such. Because if you get pulled into that bait trap of name calling and accusations, and shit can get ugly. You know, she saves it, you save it, and it's you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're stepping on your own dick at this point. So just keep it strictly financial and directed towards the needs of the child. And if she's giving you a lot of pushback, you just back off a little bit. And whatever you do, you just don't emotionally engage. Don't get on that level. She's pulling you into her frame at that point. And if you fall for it, it's your own fault. It's that simple. So, you know, you have to outsmart the situation and be a little more tactical and strategic about the moves you make. And then, you know, when you do have an opportunity to see the kid or kids, you know, you keep it strictly focused on them and a positive experience for them and you, and that's it. You don't say anything negative about the baby mama. You don't talk about anything to do with y'all's relationship and why. You know, kids are curious. I used to ask my dad all the time, why did you and mom split up? And ask my mom the same. And you know, went into way too much detail, and it was never good. You don't want to do that. Keep it positive. And what happens is over time, you know, as you're dealing with the vengeful baby mama, at some point, you're not responding, you're not fighting, you're not falling, you're not reacting. She's going to get bored. You know, eventually she'll meet somebody or just find something better to do. And the focus will be off of you. And then all that will have paid off. Because now things are good. And this is my experience here is you got to play the long game, that the less the less shit you give her to use against you, the less shit she can use, and she'll just get bored. You know, she'll see that you're not, and you know, going to re-engage emotionally, because that's what they want. They just want to get an emotional reaction out of you and pull you into their space. And if you do that, they get that entertainment, the tickled pink, they push your buttons. If you don't, eventually they get bored and move on to bigger and better things. You know, things begin to settle down. And then having done it that way, when that time comes, there's no resentment. You know, the kids are better off, and they don't have a head full of ugly shit about what their parents think about one another. And at least from your end. And that's all that matters, because that's all you can control. You can't control what she does and says. You can't control, you know, anything she's doing behind the scenes. And, you know, that's why it's so important. And then in the meantime, like when you're away and you have that time alone, that, you know, you're working on yourself and you're there to show up as, you know, a fit father and, you know, for the next relationship. And typically, if you've truly moved on, she's not going to be able to affect you emotionally, and that's why they use the kids against you, to get that attention. But should be less of an issue. But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know how much more in depth that I can go in, that I can be of help to you here. And I do know for a fact, you know, taking it to family courts, it's not in your benefit. It's not in your favor. So you just got to be prepared to play that game, the long game. And there may be times when you just have to be, like, you have to just put your hands up and walk away from the situation. Whereas to not, you know, cause a flare up or do something stupid that you're going to regret later, that's really going to come back and bite you in the ass. It doesn't take much for you to mess up and get your ass thrown in jail. And if you do something to piss her off enough, she can just make something up and you'll get thrown in jail. I've seen that too, personally and through friends, people that I know, that I'm close with actually. And you will get thrown in jail just based on what she said. So, and that's it. You know, to other people watching this video out there who aren't in this situation, be a little more selective, you know, who you sticking your dick in. Or use protection, be smarter, because this could happen. And I mean, there is a bright side. You know, there is a bright side. At some point, if you play your cards right, you have a great relationship with your child down the line, if you do it right. You know, these children don't forget as they're growing up. And I'm speaking from experience. This is not looking through the lens of watching somebody else have gone. This is me speaking from experience. I've been through this. Children do not forget. They'll remember later on, and they'll see the truth, you know, when they get old enough to understand and look back at the way things were and the things that were done and said. They'll know. They're going to know. And it'll pay off huge dividends if you do it the right way. And you know, you just take care of your child. You do your best to be on good terms. Most importantly, take care of yourself. You know, in the long run, that's who you end up with. And, you know, just do the best you can with what you have to minimize damage financially, emotionally to the kids, mentally to yourself, mentally and emotionally to yourself. And because sometimes that's what it's about. It's just about damage control at that point. And, you know, playing that game a little bit. Everybody's got to do it at some point. So, and that's about it. If there's anything you want to hear more specifically about anything I said, leave it in the comments. I think that's about all I have to offer on this. Again, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave in the comments if there's any other topics you want to hear about regarding relationships, dating, no contact. I'll be doing some more no contact stuff because it's very interesting and I found it very helpful as well. And that's what I get a lot. Most of my consultations and people reaching out in private are about that. So I'll put some more stuff on about that. So thank y'all for tuning in. See you on the next one.